Hi and welcome back. Now, if you missed the last large furnace base that we done, it was quite large, so I wanted to revisit and make a compact large furnace base. Now, inspired by Moji's original starter base where he used the high stone walls before all the systems changed, it was used by a hell of a lot of people. Now, the thinking of this is official servers haven't wiped BPs in 11 months, and a lot of servers don't tend to wipe them too often. So if you're deep into a wipe cycle and you haven't lost BPs, this should be quite easy to actually get up and running. Now, you would start it as a simple 2x1, break it out, and as you get the scrap, basically get the benches you require and make the walls. If you're starting this from afresh, it might be a bit more difficult and you'll have to use the wooden walls, which I'll show in a second, but they aren't as effective. Now, this is literally just for starting the wipe. Get stuff up, get stuff smelted, then get your main base up, then keep this base as your external TC and just work off of it. Everyone starts with external TCs after they get the main base up, just to stop people actually putting twig up and griefing your base anyway. So this adds to it, and it's relatively cheap to upkeep and relatively cheap to make after you have the initial BPs. Yes, the scrap cost can be a lot, but again, as I said, it's aiming more towards things like official servers which haven't actually wiped BPs in a hell of a long time. Now, as I said, you can use the wooden walls. These are super easy to get hold of. You shouldn't struggle if that's the route you want to take, but bear in mind they can quite easily be burnt down. Not very strong. People can get straight in the back and get majority of stuff that you've managed to get through that wipe. So the key thing for this is basically try and get up as quick as you can and get your main base up as well. Now, you want to make your base just outside the radius like so, and just keep this burning away. This will act as a good backup. Have a bag in there or a bed, and if you are getting raided or if you're getting door camped, you can use this as your backup base as well. You can put turrets in the top, just bear in mind how you position them, because if you don't position them well and they ladder up, they can just hatchet the actual turret out and break it down. Now, the cost for this is relatively cheap, as you can see here. Now, I'll quickly show you how it's built. Remember, this is a concept and a decent little build. Now, very important, to do this, you're going to have to make sure your foundations are raised. Do it the way I've done it, and this will make sure that you can actually get the floor grills in. Now, after that, you're going to want to make sure, first of all, you get the honeycomb for the outside walls done. Why? Because when the actual high walls clip through this side, it will not allow you to upgrade or put walls in later. So deal with that first, get the honeycomb in for the edges, then start building your base out. It will take a lot of stone, but as I said, this is probably ideal for a group if they're using it as a starter base, and you've probably got about 10 of you running about shouting "re", so don't worry about it. If you're a solo, obviously it's going to be a bit more difficult, so probably start at one end, have your triangle and your square, just make a little normal solo base for your starter as you would, put your TC in the corner and work your way out. Now, the half walls, extremely important. This will allow you to put the actual frames in. As I said, you can do this in a different order, the order that suits you and the style that you play. For the purpose of this, I'm just showing you how it's built. You can add to it, you can subtract from it, do anything you want with this. The concept is using the high walls and making it a bit more compact and using it later for your external TC. A lot of people seem to really push to have a massive base for the furnace. You don't really have to. At the end of the day, the floor grills are weak as hell, so they can just go through the floor grills, so it doesn't matter how many walls you've got around it, unless you're going to make a massive base and have it high enough to put a roof on it. But again, it's just one roof piece then for down through all the floor grills. Now, up here, I had some sort of loot room. For me, this is just going to hold wood, nothing else. Honeycomb this section off if you wish, or leave it open. As I said, this doesn't really matter because you're not going to keep this as a main base. If you do choose to keep it as a main base, you might want to metal it up as soon as you can, because it's only one wall to get into any sort of loot, unless you want to build it out as a 2x2 and push it through further and keep your loot in the central 2 squares of the 2x2. But again, it's up to you. This is only an idea and concept. Now, as you can see, the main framing is all in place, quite simple. So we'll move on to the large furnace. Now to place this, someone asked recently how to place high stone walls. If you're doing it with this, I'll show you a guide on how to do it, which makes it really easy. We'll have this in place, and then we'll put the oil burner in place as well. This will take a bit of moving around because it clips to the furnace. Try rotating it or just move it to the side, get it blue and push it back in as far as you can. It will be quite annoying, but don't worry, it's just how rust is, unfortunately. Now, after that, you want to put your frames in first before you put your high walls. Reason being, it's easier to put the high walls in place and have them all lined up when the frames are there. Obviously, if you're in flat ground, it's even easier. Put them down, put them in place, and now we'll move on to the high walls. Now, the high walls, if you use the frames as a guide, as you can see at the top of the screen, get it in line with that and use that as your guide rail. As soon as you've got it in a place where you're happy and you think it's straight, drop it down. Now, as I said, you're going to clip through the walls. That's why it was important that you done it first. Put these down when you feel that it's happy and it's straight and aligned, and as close into the oil burner as possible. Now, as I said, the oil burner will push it out slightly. You'll notice this side goes in a lot easier and closer. If you don't want to use an oil burner, I'll show you again. You can take the oil burner away and just use 3 close-in walls. This will stop people from laddering just walking through. So an opportunist who's going to drop down and use ladders to try and get back out, I dare say it could happen. So if you don't want that to be the case, take the oil burner away, put it outside in an isolated square, because you can roof that up quite easily, then place it down, and that is you done. Now the rest of it is completely up to you. If you want to make this some sort of garden, as I said before, jumping out could be a problem. Don't worry, you can clip onto the side of the wall if you're struggling and you don't want to put a box down there. Jumping on the furnace is a bit more difficult than it used to be, but just jumping on the side of the wall on the little metal trim, it gets you straight out. Now, after that, you just want to put all of your floor grills in place, put them down. These will not protect you massively, just bear that in mind, okay? Now, from there, you can put half walls and put more grills in place if you wish. I wouldn't spend too much resource on this because it is aimed at only being a temporary measure for the start of the wipe, then being utilised as a large furnace only. If you do use loot in the front and you want to secure it, honeycomb this front section here, or just put metal walls and save yourself some stone. Again, it's up to you how you do it. I'm just going to try and make it as basic as possible because I don't want to spend too much on this. You could probably make this a hell of a lot smaller. Now, the upkeep for this is relatively low, as you can see. Not a lot at all, just in the way it is. I know there's no doors in here at the minute, however, even with doors, the metal's only going to go up slightly. So guys, that is pretty much it. As I said, it was inspired by Moji's original, so I wanted to relook at it and make a compact large furnace base because the last one we done was quite big. I know a lot of people struggle with getting the resources. Don't worry, this should help you out. And again, I can't stress enough, this should not be your main base. This should only be the first day of the wipe. Don't keep all your main loot in here after your main base is down. Get your main base up as soon as possible. You can use little tricks, so if someone does come through the roof, you can just use the half walls that you put in place so they have to go through the doors no matter what, just to make them spend some more. So guys, there is your compact large furnace base. Let me know what you think. Join Discord if you've got any suggestions you want to see, and I'll put more polls on the community tab as well. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one.